All right, so just to be aware of how these work, square roots. Okay, when you're looking at a square root, the square root button is the second multiplication key, so second and then times, brings up the square root. It also brings up a grouping symbol, so whatever goes inside your square root has to be grouped together in parentheses. So you can just copy what you have. So you have the fraction 45 over 19, and then minus 1.51. Close off that entire radical, that whole square root, and when you hit enter, you should get your solution. To the nearest two decimals, you get 0.93 for this. All right, so for B, you type in exactly what you have. So 3.21 times the square root, so second multiply the value that's inside the square root, 1.42, close it off. You do have to close off your radicals. Hit enter, you should get the answer 3.83, again if you round it to two decimals. All right, the pi button on your calculator is located right here above the caret symbol, like right below the clear button on the far right. So if you were typing the expression for part C, just enter 3, access the pi button, minus 4.66. It'll automatically convert that into the decimal form. And if you round it to two decimals, 4.76 would be your solution. And then D, the same thing. You just enter exactly how it appears. So 3 times the quantity 2. Now, in this particular case, when you see something like this, this is called implied multiplication. And your calculator doesn't always identify that. Now, it does if you begin with a number. So your calculator, if you were to just type in a parentheses after the 2 and copy 4.7 minus 3.9, close it off, and then plus 2/3. In this particular case, your calculator will make that inference. It understands that that's multiplication. However, if this is a variable written in front, and then a parentheses, your variable or your calculator does not understand the implied multiplication if that's the case. My suggestion would be just get in the habit of always of not using implied multiplication. Go ahead and explicitly apply that, and then you get your solution. In this case, 5.47. You round to two decimals. Okay, but just to avoid avoid having to figure out when it does or doesn't work, I would just explicitly put multiplication any of those implied cases.